Friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Birds. Friends, in last video we discussed about the auxin as a growth regulator auxin in detail with its practical function, practical uses and other functions. In this video we will discuss about the gibberellins, the second plant growth regulator. Okay, its introduction with its physiological effects. Okay, firstly, gibberellin are discovered by Kurosawa in 1926. Gibberellins are discovered by Kurosawa in 1926, and it was first extracted from the fungus Gibberella fujikuroi, asexual for its asexual stages Fusarium moniliforme. Okay, this is important to be noted. Okay, first it was extracted from the fungus, that is Gibberella fujikuroi fungus. Okay, which asexual stage of Gibberella fujikuroi is Fusarium moniliforme. Okay, the fungus is a causal organism of foolish seedling disease in rice. Okay, or commonly called as Buckney disease of rice. Okay, which grow like vegetative growth will be there. There is no production of seeds. This is not foolish. So it is foolish seedling disease in rice. Yubata, Hamachi and Kanebe first isolated the active principle from the fungus, which is called as gibberellins. Yubata and Sumiki isolated gibberellin A and B in crystal from West, and Pinney discovered GA3 as a natural product of higher plants. You must remember this point. West and Pinney discovered GA3 as a natural product of higher plants. It was first isolated from immature seeds, okay, of Phaseolus coccineus, Phaseolus coccineus. Okay, next very important point is all GSR, that is all gibberellic acids are acidic in nature. Okay, next, what is the roles of gibberellin? We will see. Okay, prevention of genetic dwarfism. If a plant has genetic dwarfism, then it cannot be grown if we given all the nutrients in a sufficient quantity also. Then spraying of gibberellin will break that genetic dwarfism and leads to growth of the plant. Okay, this genetic dwarfism is in pea, board bean, Phaseolus multiflorus, that is runner bean, which has a red color flowers, like a bean only, but it has red color flowers. Next, light inhibited stem growth. Okay, see, light has inhibitory effect on the elongation of stem. This inhibition is overcome by application of gibberellins exogenously. Okay, in presence of light, stem growth will be inhibited. Okay, light has inhibitory effect. Okay, so this inhibition is overcome by application of gibberellins exogenously. Now, plasticity of young cells increases, causes elongation of cell. Okay, so auxin also helps in elongation of then how the plant is growing without spraying. Some plants are growing without spraying gibberellins, means because of presence of auxin, as I showed avenue curvature test. Okay, is the proof for it. Okay, if you spray the gibberellins, then plasticity of that cell will be increased and cause elongation in cell. Okay, next, bolting and flowering. This is important function of gibberellin, that is the rosetted or plants in which internodes are too short, okay, as I told, and long day plants which require certain minimum number of hours of daylight to bolt. Okay, emergence of flower stalk is known as bolt, and flower and rosetted cool requiring plants which need cool treatment to bolt and flower can be brought into flowering by treatment in gibberellins. See, some of the long day plants need more than 12 hours of light for their flowering and to enter into their reproductive stage. Some of the short day plants require less than 12 hours for their to enter into their reproductive stage. But when you spray gibberellin, if this condition is not present also, they will bolt, they will enter into the reproductive stage and bolt, the bolting will occur, that is okay. emergence of flower stalk will be occur. This is mainly in cruciferous, that is cabbage, cauliflower. This will be done. Okay, gibberellins treatment of short day plants under unstable photoperiod doesn't promote flowering. Okay, gibberellins when treatment with the short day plants, that plants which require less than 12 hours. Okay, plants which require less than 12 hours of daylight. Okay, if you spray gibberellin on that to bolt under unsuitable photo period doesn't promote flowering. Okay, this must be kept in mind. Not long day flower. If you spray long day plant, it confirmly it will give bolting. But short day plants under unsuitable photo period. Okay, at least it must be short day plants means less than 12 hours. If it is 14 or 15 hours of light is there means then it will hard to promote flowering. Okay, gibberellins influence bolting by stimulating cell division, band cell elongation in the subapical meristem. Okay, gibberellins influence bolting by stimulating cell division, band cell elongation in the subapical meristem. Okay, subapical meristem, in a subapical meristem, it will stimulate cell division so that the bolting will be occurs. Okay, next, not in apical meristem, subapical meristem. Okay, next, parthenocarpy. Here gibberellins are very reliable in producing parthenocarpy in pome and stone fruits. This is very important. Where auxin have failed to induce parthenocarpy, the gibberellins have proven to be successful. Okay. De novo synthesis of enzyme alpha amylase. This is very important for the germination of the seed. De novo synthesis. It is done by gibberellic acid. Okay. See, one of the important functions of gibberellin is to cause de novo synthesis of the enzyme alpha amylase in the aleurone layer surrounding the endosperm of cereal grains during germination. Okay, carbohydrates will be in compound form, which does not usable for the energy release of energy. So that when this alpha amylase, okay, is synthesized by the gibberellic acid, then in aleurone layer surrounding endosperm of cereal grain, this hydrolysis of starch will done into simple sugars, which will be easily get digested by the growing embryo and take an energy for its growth. Okay, this enzyme brings about hydrolysis of starch to simple sugars, that is maltose. One must be remembered in our mind is in germinating seedling, name which carbohydrate or which disaccharide is present is maltose. Maltose is a present, which are translocated to growing embryo to provide energy. Okay. Next, practical uses of gibberellin. There are 4 practical uses. In first, that germination. Gibberellin is widely used in seed germination. Papaya seeds treated with 200 ppm. You must keep this values, that is for papaya seeds 200 ppm gibberellin gave better germination. Okay, and seed treatment with GA3 at 1 to 200 1000 ppm improves seed germination in many ornamental plants. 1 to 1000 ppm improves seed germination in many plants. This ppm will depend on seed coat hardness. Okay, if seed coat is less hard, then you require only 10 ppm. If seed coat is hard, very hard, then we require 1000 ppm of GA3. Okay, next in flowering, GA3 shown to cause rapid growth of flowering primordium, that is bolting, is nothing but bolting. Okay, in dahlia 100 to 200 ppm. In long day plants 100 to 1000 ppm. Long day plants 100 to 1000 means which require long day plants which require sunlight light speed of more than 12 hours. Okay, otherwise they does not undergo flowering. In such condition, we must spray gibberellic from 100 to 1000 ppm which induce flowering in the plants. In Anthurium, spray 5 to 25 of GA3 for early blossoming. Okay. Next important point to be noted here is gynoecious lines in cucumber are maintained by spraying GA3 at 1000 ppm at the expansion of first two leaves. Okay, when two leaves are expanded, then we must spray the GA3 at 10,000 ppm, which helps in maintaining of gynoecious lines in cucumber. Okay, production of important male, female. Okay, lines. Next practical use of gibberellins are parthenocarpy. As I told, GA3 induces parthenocarpy in brinjal and tomato like auxin, but better parthenocarpy is induced by gibberellins itself. In guava, parthenocarp fruits were obtained by using GA3 at 1000 to 8000 ppm in guava. Okay, this must be remembered. Parthenocarp without seeds, guava without seeds. Okay, this is very important for our competitive examinations. And okay, next GA3 at 0.1 to 0.0 0.1 to 0.000. Okay, 0.1 ppm, that is 10 to the power of minus 5 ppm, 10 to the power of minus 5 ppm. Okay, 0.1 ppm to 10 to the power of minus 5 ppm effective in inducing parthenocarpy in tomato. Okay, next last practical use of gibberellin is fruit setting. Okay, as in auxins, which auxin is used to set to reduce fruit drop is naphthalic acetic acid NAA at 10 to 20 ppm. Here gibberellic acid is used at 50 to 75 ppm to reduce fruit drop in sweet oranges itself. Okay, next, in sour lime, fruit setting is done if we spray GA3 at 50 ppm, and in sweet lime at 10 ppm, and in tomato at 25 ppm will lead to setting of fruit setting. Okay, next, other practical uses of breaking of dormancy. Okay, fruit thinning in grapes means if grapes are in bunches, in a tight bunches, the growth of fruit will less, which leads to some shape disorders. Okay, so that fruit thinning is done in grapes at 60 ppm. Okay, extending of shelf life. Okay, when fruits are treated with gibberellic acid, which extends its shelf life. Okay, these are the practical uses of gibberellin. Next, where it is distributed. Gibberellins are found in all parts of the plant. Gibberellins activity has been shown in plastids. This is important to be noted is in which part of the plant, in which each cell organelle of the plant, gibberellin activity is seen as plastids. Okay, in general, reproductive parts contain much higher concentration of gibberellin than the vegetative parts. Okay, reproductive parts contain much higher concentration. Okay, like flowers, okay, mature seeds will contain higher concentration of gibberellin than vegetative parts. Immature seeds are especially rich in gibberellins, 10 to 100 milligram per gram fresh weight. See how much it will present in immature seeds. Okay, in mature seeds the gibberellin tend to form their derivatives. Okay, in mature seeds its derivative will be formed, so that it will not found in free form. Okay, any of the plant growth regulator must be have in free form for its function, otherwise it does not function. Okay, bound gibberellins usually occur as gibberellins glycosides, that means which attached to the glycosides like carbohydrates. Okay, biosynthesis of gibberellin. Gibberellins are chemically related to terpenoids, natural rubber, carotenoids and steroids. Okay, these are the terpenoids. Okay, the primary precursor for the formation of this isoprenoid unit, okay, and synthesis of gibberellin is acetate. Okay, precursor of gibberellin is acetate or malonic acid or antcuran. Any of these three is provided, then both these three can be known as precursors. Okay, acetate, malonic acid, and curan, because acetate is the first main product. From that malonic acid is formed. From that malonic acid antcuran is formed. Okay, gibberellic acid pathway is very large pathway, so that what is the exact pathway of the gibberellins don't know. So that the precursors are three: acetate, malonic acid, and antcuran. Okay, antcuran is transported from plastids to endoplasmic reticulum and converted to GA12, which is precursor to all other GAs. GA12 is a main, okay, which is precursor to the other GA1, GA2, GA3, all other GAs. Okay, in during the biosynthesis of gibberellin, ferrous iron and ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, used as cofactor. Environmental factors such as temperature and photoperiod are known to affect biosynthesis of gibberellins. Next, gibberellin transport in plants. The transport of gibberellins in plants is non-polar. Okay, but only the polar, okay, plant growth regulator is auxin. Okay, the transport of gibberellin in plants is non-polar. Okay, gibberellins are translocated from phloem according to the flow pattern, which is similar to those of carbohydrates and other organic solutes. Similar to those of carbohydrates and other organisms. Gibberellin transported may also occur in xylem due to its lateral movement between two vascular tissues, that is phloem and xylem. The main tissue of gibberellin conduction is phloem, but its translocation is occur between xylem and phloem, so that lateral movement occurs, so that xylem also contain this GA. Okay, GA, the gibberellins are not translocated in plants as free molecule, but probably in their bond form as gibberellins glycosides. But very small amount will present in free form. But see, not translocated, it not translocates, but translocating GA is in bond form, that is gibberellin glycosides. Thank you friends, this is about the gibberellic acid. In next video we will discuss about the cytokinins and brassinosteroids, about their physiological rules and introduction and physiological roles. Okay friends, bye.